I am unashamed. What about you?
All right, so welcome back to Unashamed. Christian is still with us. He was so riveted. He was so amazed at what he witnessed in the last podcast. He had to stay.
It's just distractions. It's like shooting.
You know what?
When you duck hunt, because I've seen you shoot now, which. Well, I got a commandeered
that'd be funny.
to help train. Who is Zach talking to?
He's talking to people off camera. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Zach,
I got distracted.
We're doing a podcast. Well, I've been distracted for 50 minutes. It's called The Previous Podcast.
You know what it's going back to, Jase? Remember that bumper sticker you bought that said, "I'm surrounded by idiots"?
Well, I'm trying to read the Bible.
And Zach's reading the lyrics of songs. It just threw you off.
Yeah, and I was like, let me push back a little bit. And then he got his feelings hurt. And the next thing you know, we're off the rails.
I didn't get my feelings hurt. I was confused because you said, let me push back on that. But then you never disagreed with what I said. And so I was just clarifying.
Well,
like,
I apologize. I was being too nice.
Maybe that's what it was.
Issue 2, during the break, we had a break in between podcasts, and
Christian decided
a debate came about.
Well, Christian asked if I could blow a duck call, and I said no. I can't blow the hen call because I can't control the back of my tongue. I can't choke the air off. I've never been able to do it. I mean, for years I tried to do it.
I mean, now you were raised by a man in a family that became the world's most famous duck
and
caller.
I was the oldest son and could not get it. But I figured it out, Jase. You have to have certain physical skills to do it well that not everybody has. I mean, it's just the way it is. Some people can roll their tongue into
I can't. I can't roll my tongue.
I can do that, but I can't control the air in the back.
Since I can blow it up.
You can blow it. So he asked me this
I'm going
question.
to disagree with you. I'm going to push back, but I'll be more blunt now after that episode.
No, it's not. But you're not correct.
No,
Jase. You can push back all you want.
I'm going to push back.
And I give you evidence. W.E. Phillips. Mm-hmm. He learned how to be able to call ducks in, but he's not a very good duck caller. Would you agree with me on that?
I think he's.
I'm not saying he can't call ducks. He can, and he guides, and he does all kinds of
stuff. But
he doesn't sound very much like a duck.
I'm hijacking the argument. I've taught.
I can hear it. I know what it sounds like when it's right.
I've attempted to teach thousands of people to blow a duck call.
Right.
What I'm going to tell you is not what you're thinking. What I'm saying is what makes learning how to blow a duck call unique is like it's not about physical capabilities or practice. There's something that you do with your body that you've never done before. And it's like if you never do it for the first time, you're never going to figure it out.
But you're saying everybody can do it. Is that what you think? I mean, you think everybody can?
It's like riding a hoverboard.
I think everybody can be decent. Yeah. Like you brought up W.E. I think he sounds somewhat like a duck.
Kind of like a old scared duck.
Because look, just think about
not
this.
one that's very exciting.
Can I illustrate this? You may.
And Zach says he can blow a duck call. That's where all this is leading to.
So look, when I do my seminars, I pick this duck call.
Can you blow a call?
You see this duck call?
I'm not great at it.
Okay.
Now, the origin of this duck call, we sent for some samples. We were trying to build a new duck call. We were actually trying to build this, which is our newest duck call, which I will go on record. I think
you said this.
Me and Jase. I'm excited about this. I think this is the greatest duck call that we've come up with.
Yeah.
Just for people to use and the sound of it. I mean, I absolutely love. I'm not even sure it's for sale yet, but
did you pick the color out? I like the color.
That's a J Stone there. Me and Stone need to have a consultation about color, but I don't fool with blue colors and all that. I don't care, So, and I love this call, but I don't know 15 years ago we were trying to dial this in, which came 15 years later. This was a mistake. And I put a pair of reeds in it, and it became my championship style call.
The one you do the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kept it because I'm only going to blow this to say
Ducks don't do that.
ducks don't do it, and don't you ever do it unless you're doing it to say, don't do this. But what's fascinating about the call is it's a good teaching tool to what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Because if you don't have the right air in this, it's very drastic how it sounds. So if I blow in it, listen. It barely will make a sound.
Yeah.
I'm putting air in this. This is nothing. This is like a little Volkswagen with a horn. Hey, get out of my way.
It's a clown car.
Yeah, it's a clown car.
It was Zach's rental car this past week.
You can't even.
Zach just drove that car this week.
Zach, if you own a car that sounds like this when you blow the horn,
I don't own it. I rented one. It was like a Mitsubishi, but it was like a box car. But it's all they had left.
Yeah. So
and
you
of
can
course
put
they
a-
accused me of being
I thought
cheap.
he was going to start
you say-
Tokyo Drift again.
You say, well, blow harder. I mean, it's barely nothing like a duck. So people say, well, you gotta, air's got to come from the diaphragm, like when you grunt. So when you go to reach down and pick up a weight, you'll go. Well, if you didn't make that sound, that's how you blow a duck call. So you're going. Say, I didn't make a sound, but I reached out. Everything kind of got torqued up, and I actually inhaled.
All that pressure built up.
But people will try to blow a duck call, and they'll make the so they'll go.
That's kind of what I saw.
But look, it's still that. What is that? Now look,
Not
you
good.
heard those two things. So you got
That's a crane. There's a crane that
you got
sounds like-
clown car or grunting. Watch this. Well, how in the world did that drastically change? I mean, all of a sudden,
And are you doing the 10, 10, 10, 10? Is that what you're doing there?
10-10 was an analogy.
Is that not what you're supposed to do?
It's like, no, let me explain
That's what
this.
Stone taught me.
Let me explain this to you. My dad came up with an analogy that when you say 10, he would ask a question. How many times does your tongue touch the roof of your mouth? What's the answer?
2.
2.
Al got it wrong. It's 2.
That's why I can't blow a duck call.
Look, 10. It has to go back up.
I see.
So he was just making
There's
an
my problem.
analogy
I've been doing 5.
that when you have pressurized air, your tongue is going to let that air
It's the
come
valve.
out.
Yeah.
So you're not saying the word 10. It's kind of like the time when someone came up and they said, I want to try one of these duck calls. And when they picked it up, they blew from this end, which will not make a sound. And so my dad said, hey, dude, hit it a lick on the other end and see if it'll work for you. And my dad used that redneck phrase, hit it a lick on the other end.
Yeah.
Well, evidently that guy didn't know what
hit
that
a lick meant.
So look, he turned the call around, hit the call with his hand, and then licked it.
No.
True story. I saw it happen. Bill looked at me. I looked at him. He thought, I don't think this old boy is getting it.
That's funny.
Woo! That's
Hit it a
funny.
lick.
So that
I have never heard that
that is
story.
the illustration of 10. It's an illustration. You're not saying 10.
Okay.
So
that
the
makes sense.
pressurized air that I
Yep.
form is something that I'm doing with my body that you've never done before.
Correct.
So you can practice. It's not going to make perfect. You're never getting any unless you just one day hit
This is
that.
like the Holy Spirit discussion.
So that's what I'm saying. You can do it. It's just, will you ever do it for the first time? If you never do it for the first time, because it's a strange feeling. People are like, well, how do you get that feeling? I gave you the best illustration I knew. It's like you're picking up something and you were
If
going
it's
to
picking
grunt.
up a weight, you should be
Yeah,
really
look,
good
you
at
were
this.
going to pick it up, but you weren't going to make an audible sound.
Yeah.
And then you're going to never leave that position. So actually, you're not exhaling, you're inhaling.
Yeah.
I'm going the other way and then just letting the air out. It's like a controlled air.
Yeah.
I'm decent
So-
at the hen call. I can't. The feed call is what messes me up.
Well, let's see.
You know.
You want to? Are we going to do this? Are we going to have a competition?
I want to hear Zach.
Well, who's the competition between?
You and Al.
Well, obviously.
Well, no, I've already
My
said
man
I
Al?
can't do it.
Oh, I'll go
let me
against
hear
Al.
you. I'm
Zach.
not going to compete. I can't do it.
Zach, hit it
Yeah.
a lick. Get your duck call.
Yeah,
hit it a lick.
Now,
Let
that
me-
doesn't
I don't
mean
have
hit
to,
it and lick
but
it.
let me. Okay, I'm a little nervous because you got to give me a fair shake, Jase, and don't like just automatically dismiss it. Two, I don't even know what
We're
this
going
duck
to give
call
you
is.
common grace.
Don't give us a
I don't have my duck
description.
calls.
Don't give it a description. Just let me hear it. Hit
Yeah.
it a lick.
Jase is the expert. That's not bad.
Yep. All right. Now put the call down. Enter the microphone. Get
Yeah.
your headphones on. Now, Zach has his air right.
Yeah.
So I would say he knows how
Yep,
to do it.
yep.
The problem is the sound of a mallard hen is not in his head
Right.
while blowing.
So, Al, I didn't get a chance to sleep at your house last time I was in town because Ben took my spot, my brother-in-law.
And he did. You never know which one of the family is going to wind up at the house. But he did say, I said, Ben, how'd you sleep? He said, oh, one of the best nights I've ever had. I said, well, I know why.
You slept on a Helix mattress, you
did.
guys. We're all a Helix family. We all got Helix mattresses in our homes. We took the super simple Helix sleep quiz, and we were actually matched with what's called the Midnight Lux mattress. It's not too firm, not too soft. It's perfect for us because Jill and I are both side sleepers, and we've had our mattress for, I guess, a couple of years now, and it really has been the best sleep that we've ever had. And I noticed a difference when I'm not sleeping on a Helix mattress.
Yeah, for us, Zach, it was the Moonlight because we're more back sleepers. So, but it really does matter, how you sleep in terms of what you do.
As long as you're sleeping, everything's good. Al.
Exactly.
Well, I've noticed not only do I sleep better, but I also have less hip and joint and shoulder pain when I sleep. I guess we're at that age we're talking about that now. Kind of silly, but it's true. It makes a big difference the older you get. One of the things that I miss most when we're traveling is our Helix mattress. So for a limited time, you can go to helixsleep.com/unashamed for 25% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/unashamed for 25% off site-wide. helixsleep.com/unashamed.
He had a little fancy, what they call a double clutch.
Yeah.
He did that.
Yeah, which I've heard people do that.
He did that, but
The
his
double.
air was actually
His air was good.
decent,
That's
and
what
the
I
feed
don't
call
have.
was good, which anybody can do a feed call.
Except Christian.
Yeah, the feed call's hard for me.
I mean, an actual duck doing a feed call is not.
But let
rolling
Christian
the
hear what it
tongue.
actually
well,
is.
Zach he just rolled his tongue. If you can go,
See, I can't do that.
No, I didn't roll my tongue. I did dig it.
Yeah,
That was what I did.
That's what they
See,
asked.
But with the digga digga digga, I can't figure out how to do the air.
well, I
and
can't
say
do
that
the
at the same time.
digga either. Just even that. But a duck, actually, the only time he makes that sound that Zach made or she makes that sound is when they're flying real high. They'll do it fast. Well, you would never want to do that,
Right.
Because you're representing ducks sitting on the water.
Yeah, it's like a wood duck call. They
Yeah.
do they do like the flying wood duck. People like to do that on the duck call, but that makes no sense because if you were a duck sitting on the water, you would make the loud chirpy noise.
Yeah.
Right?
So
I
the
mean,
lesson I would give,
I know about
to Zach-
ducks. I don't know about.
I'm like, you need to go to the nearest pond where ducks are
Yeah.
and listen.
Well, go to your park. It's overrun, isn't
Then
it?
take your call and match your air because his cadence was wrong. Way too many notes.
But I was
he threw
impressed
in
with
the
the air.
double clutch.
Yeah.
But he has his air right.
He has the air right.
You got your air right. Zach, you can
I'm
be.
gonna take that honestly
But
after
in-
knowing
in all
Jace my whole life.
fairness,
That's
I
a
was
raving
impressed.
endorsement.
I was impressed.
In all
Yeah,
fairness, though, he would never let you blow it in the blind, though. Probably.
no.
Well, no, that's
not
why he's
at
never
this
heard me blow a
stage.
duck. I mean, you hunt it
but look
with
there,
Jace. You got a window about 6 inches you can shoot out of if you hunt with Jace and Phil. They got complete open porches. You got about a little 6-inch
Yeah.
window.
Stay down, be quiet, and don't do anything. And just except be here.
No,
Yeah.
if he would practice what a duck sounds like,
Yeah.
because you have your air right, I would welcome that. I will people that come to the blind who sound like a mallard hen, I encourage them to blow, but only when we say.
Yeah.
Because then you get into that when to call is just as important.
Well, on the other
What about Si? How does he call?
Si has his air right,
Yeah.
and but his duck calling is just like his personality. It's an embellished version of everything. So he's like, he'll blow right. He'll sound like a hen.
Yeah.
But then if they're not coming, well, then he's like, he goes over the top.
It's like he's telling a story.
Like,
then.
no, I'm really serious here. Come down here. This joke is fun. This party is
Let me
awesome.
make some stuff up.
Yeah, so then it gets
That's a
crazy.
good
And so then
analogy.
we're like, sigh, because he can't hear real good, which is a problem. I mean, he can't hear himself. So
Right.
we're like, sigh, you're blowing too loud. They're right here.
But here's what I learned, Christian. Well, this is probably the best lesson for you because you could do the hen call, but you wouldn't get to do it very often. But if you learn how to blow the Drake call, which is very easy if you can do a bass note, it's just a super simple. Like there's all kind of decoy, there's all kind of ducks out here, so you could do all that or gadwall if you got gadwall coming, or if you got
Right. Those are called confidence
calls. So guys like me who's not very good on the hen call, I can blow the other calls as if, and that's a backdrop. So ducks are flying around. There's drakes down there. There's wood ducks.
So this call that we came up with, though, I will say, one of the reasons I think it's the best, it's easier to blow. So if I just blow in this, see that?
Yeah, it
I'm
does.
just blowing, but it's not bad.
Right.
Just so when you put the little pressure on it, I like it because it's raspy, but it's when you lean.
It does
on
sound. I will say it sounds just like a mallard.
It has a crack to it. I wanted because
Yeah.
they had named it. What did they name it? Select. What does that mean? I said you should name it the Crackling.
Oh, I know where that name came from. That's what they call really good whiskey.
Name it the Crackle
Is that
Barrel.
what they call
That's
it?
what
Well, I'm fixed to change that. Well, I don't
just
even
saying.
like whiskey.
We can call it the common grace call. That's what
There you go. Common grace call.
No, that was from the last podcast, and I thought, wouldn't that be uncommon grace? If you're giving grace to those who are not loving you,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be uncommon?
Well, common in the sense is for everybody is what he meant, but uncommon is the sense that it's given.
How about this, Zach? How about we stay away from phrases that are not in the Bible?
It's going to be really difficult if we could just read it, just
All
word
right, well,
for
that
word
brings
every
me-
podcast.
That,
All
br-
right,
that
that
brings
gets
me to the point that I never got to make. One of the themes of tackling this idea of the world, because we left off in 1 John 2. I know we were in John 15, but it's such a profound statement when he says,
Yeah, you felt rushed. so-
Don't. Oh, I was rushed. Don't be shocked if the world hates you. Well, what's he talking about?
Yeah.
What world? Well, we're not talking about the rocks and the trees because they haven't ever hated anybody.
Yep.
I guess unless a tree fell on you. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it wasn't personal. You were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. It wasn't hate.
And a rock hit you just because somebody threw it, probably.
So I read 1 John 2 saying he didn't claim this. John is saying God is not claiming these things that come out of the world. When he said that, because if you just read the verse, 1 John 2:16, and take out the parenthetical, you see those two? I have two dashes in the middle of that sentence. Do you have that too, Al?
Yeah.
So if you just read the verse without the parenthetical, where it says, "For everything in the world
Comes not from the Father.
comes not from the Father, but from the world." Well, wait a minute now. Well, that everything is not talking about everything in the world. It's talking about these things in the parenthetical.
Yeah.
The cravings of sinful man, the lust of his eyes, the boasting of what he
And
has
I'm wondering
and
that
does.
sinful man is probably the same word for flesh. What do you think? I mean, I hadn't looked it up. But
Yeah, mine says the desires of the flesh.
yeah, I would say that. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Craving some flesh. Yeah.
But we've already gone through
Yeah,
that
we
just
talked about
having flesh
Yeah. It's not.
doesn't necessarily necessitate sin.
Yeah.
Because Jesus, look, the Word became flesh.
Right.
Then post resurrection, look at my
Which
hands
is
and
why
feet.
the NIV added sin into
It's
the word.
it's
Yeah.
a tricky word,
Yeah,
to wrap your head around. What I was going to say though is what led to that is so in 1 John 1 in verse 5, he says, "This is the message we have heard from him and declare to you, God is light. In him there's no darkness." Well, now we're back on this light. Jesus, I am the light of the world. That light has appeared to all men. Here we go.
Yeah.
And so then he gets to chapter 2, and he's like, I write this so that you will not sin, but if anybody does sin, well, we have one who speaks to the Father in our defense, Jesus Christ. And watch what verse 2 says. He is the atoning sacrifice for our sins, and not only for our sins, but for the sins of the whole world. There's that world. So, I'm just leading up to the 1 John 2.
Yeah.
Verse 6, whoever claims to live in him must walk as Jesus did. So now we have this challenge that, well, how are we going to walk like Jesus did? I mean, I remember reading this for the first time, and I thought, well, I'm out on that. I mean, I can't, what?
Yeah.
So, well, what does he mean? Well, then he starts talking about love, which he already has, but it's kind of the whole point because he says, I give you a new command. Well, if you go back to where we've been in John 14 and 15 when he was talking about do what I command, what's the next phrase?
Love one another.
Love one another as I have loved you. It gets back to love. This has been the whole theme. So then look what he does in verse 8. Yet I am writing you a new command. Its truth, and now we're talking about speaking the truth in love. Mm-hmm. Its truth is seen in him and you, because the darkness is passing and the true light is already shining. This is this light that's come to all men. Well, it's already shining, and now we're getting into
And think about when John wrote that. Remember, it was decades after Jesus was here. So what he's saying is the light's shining. I mean,
it's shining, which goes into your what's the name of your other podcast?
Not yet now.
Not yet now. It's already shining. Mm-hmm. All right. Then verse 9, anyone who claims to be in the light but hates his brother, he's still in darkness. Whoever loves his brother lives in light, and there is nothing in him to make him stumble. So we get that, which leads to the 1 John 2:15, don't love anything, in the world, but he explains that. Didn't come from God, didn't come from the Father. That's what it said.
Yep.
So then, he goes to the end of chapter 2, and he's like, dear children, continue in him so that when he appears, well, there's the not yet. And he gets into this, we'll be like him, chapter 3 and verse 2. Dear friends, we are children of God, and what we will be has not yet been made known. But when we know that when he appears, we shall be like him.
So, Al, what's your favorite thing about this time of year?
I love fall, of the weather.
This is my favorite time of year to see the leaves change up here in the mountains. A lot of things you can love about fall, but did you know that a lot of the plants and trees, they actually do better when you plant them this time of year? And that's why I love our partner at fastgrowingtrees.com. They're plant experts. They find the best plants and trees that thrive in your specific space and climate. Al, I know you've ordered some trees. What did you get?
Yeah, we got a couple of palm trees. We got some fruit trees. And because the climate is so conducive to that, we pretty much have this year round, which is really nice.
Yeah, and I picked up some trees along the way as well, Leland cypress trees. And I actually looked for trees that would grow fast, that would give me some privacy in my specific area. They've got more than 6,000 to choose from, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and many more. Order online, and Fast Growing Trees delivers the plants right to your door in just a few days. They have the care instructions with your plants, and their plant experts are the real deal, helping you pick the right American-grown plants that actually last. And with their Alive and Thrive guarantee, you know that the plants are going to show up healthy and ready to grow. So this fall, they have the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And listeners to our show get 15% off their first purchase when using the code Unashamed at checkout. That's 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using code Unashamed at checkout. Now's the perfect time to plant. Use Unashamed to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply. Check out the link below or in the show notes and support the show. That's fastgrowingtrees.com using promo code Unashamed.
So there's your not yet. We're going to get a new body, all that part.
And by the way, he said we may be confident and unashamed. Remember what happened after the first sin? What's the first thing that happened to Adam and Eve?
They hid.
And they were ashamed.
Exactly. So then, when you get to chapter 3 and verse 8, he gets back into this world because he says, he who does what is sinful is of the devil, because the devil has been sinning from the beginning. Mm-hmm. The reason the Son of God appeared was to destroy the devil's work. So we get into that. So then I wanted to come to 3:11. This is the message you heard from the beginning. We should love one another. Now watch how he goes all the way back to the garden and post-garden.
Yep.
Do not be like Cain, and look this phraseology, who belonged to the evil one. You remember in John 15 where we just was, and I said, you see this word belong keeps coming up, but it means of the world. Do not be of the world. Same terminology. Who belonged to the evil one and murdered his brother, which is the opposite of loving. And why did he murder him? Because his own actions were evil and his brothers were righteous. Now watch this. Do not be surprised, my brothers, if the world hates you. Well, does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Where are we at in John 15? He says the exact phrase.
15, 18, right?
That's where we're at. But where did he get that from is my point.
Yeah.
He got that from Jesus when he said, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. He's already said the prince of this world stands condemned, John 12, because of what he's going to do. So same thing. Now, these verses are so powerful, I had to read them. Verse 14. We know that we have passed from death to life because we love our brothers. Now, how profound is that statement?
Yeah.
You want to know how you're going to live? If you have love in some capacity, you've passed from death to life.
Which, by the way, that's what he means when he says you can walk as Jesus did.
Exactly.
You have to go from death to life, just like he did.
Good.
Now watch this. Anyone who does not love remains in death. I mean, it's just so profound. Anyone who hates his brother is a murderer.
Which Jesus made the same point.
Yeah. And you know that no murderer has eternal life in him. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers. He just got through saying this in John 15 when we read that, laying down your life for your friends. And this is not about being a servant in this capacity. I'm calling you friends. If anyone has material possession, sees his brother in need, has no pity on him, how can the love of God be in him? Verse 18. Dear children, this is a key, another thread that's going to show itself. Let us not love with words or tongue, but with actions and in truth. And this goes back to the John 1:14. Up until this time, God's telling them, here, we're in the garden. What do you do? He gave them the instructions. And so I've even read where a lot of people say, well, Adam and Eve were totally free because it says you're free to eat of any tree in the garden. They weren't totally free, because then he said, except one. And that was the trust part.
Yeah.
Trust me, don't eat of that tree.
Yeah.
And what happened? Well, here comes the evil one. Evil one deceives them. They eat of the tree. And now we've created a new world.
Yeah.
So he says, with actions and in truth, which is what Jesus did. The Word became flesh. It became a demonstration of God's love instead of just some words, which is why he's saying this. Because it's like if you wrote somebody a letter every day telling them you loved them, well, at some point, what's that going to accomplish? I guarantee you they're going to start throwing them away or call 911. Well, seriously, man. Yeah. Now they're like, why does this guy keep sending me letters telling me he loves me? Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Where's the action and truth? And so we're leading up to this, the whole point of this, so then he says, this then is how we know that we belong to the truth. There's the belong, and now we have the truth, which comes from the light, and how we set our hearts at rest in his presence. Whenever our hearts condemn us or blame us. It's not the same word condemn as all the other places you see it. It's this is the only place it's used. For God is greater.
Convict us would probably be a better.
Well, it's like once I looked at it, it's used one other place besides right here, 3 times in the whole Bible. It's like the emotional side of you just thinking. It's kind of like Romans 7 when he's like, I have this in me, and I don't feel like I'm doing good. And you're doubting yourself.
Right.
You're doubting he's going to answer what the answer is.
Sure.
He's going to say you have God living in you. But so let's keep reading. And he knows everything. 21, dear friends, if our hearts do not condemn us, we have confidence before God. So we're confidence rather than condemnation. And we receive from him anything we ask because we obey his commands, which is about love, and do what pleases him. And here's where I'm trying to get to. And this is the command, to believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and to love one another as he commanded. Those who obey his commands live in him, and he in them. And this is how we know he lives in us. We know it by the Spirit he gave us. I mean, I think that's just absolutely.
Which is the whole point of the text, John 14.
It's the whole point of it. He's like, I'm going to come in you. So when you tie that into the 1 John 2.
And you can't get the Spirit unless you die.
What I was trying to say is when it says the Father, this didn't come from the Father. I mean, the implication is you created this because you didn't trust me when I said, don't eat of the tree of the knowledge of the good and evil, and you were deceived by the evil one. So what did he do about it? Well, he came into the world. That's why God sent Jesus into the world out of love. So he came into that world, and then what did he do? He showed us the true character of God, and then he starts promising his Spirit. Well, that is from God. Jesus was from God. He said it hundreds of times in the Gospels. I came from God. I came from God. I came from God. And then he's like, and now I'm going to send you the Spirit. I'm leaving. I'm going to send you the Spirit. He will be in you. So that's what he did about the world. That's why I said it's the world against the world, because now you have Spirit-filled people that are from God because Jesus came into the world.
And to add to that, if you want to say, well, how do I know if I have the Spirit? 1 John also makes the argument for how we know that, right? So you think about the fruit of the Spirit, Galatians 5, which Christian mentioned before. The first one is love. And so what he says repeatedly in 1 John is that essentially the message is we know that we love God if we love one another. We know that it's evident who are the children of God in the ESV of 3:10, and who are the children of the devil. Whoever does not practice righteousness is not of God, nor is the one who does not love his brother. Beloved, let us, this is in 1 John 4:7, brothers, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. 1 John 5, verse 1 and 2, everyone who believes that Jesus Christ has been born of God, and everyone who loves the Father loves whoever has been born of him. By this we know that we love the children of God when we love God and obey his commandments. And so you think about that theme there, that the primary way that we actually identify that we are housing the Holy Spirit is by our love. They'll know we're Christians by our love, and our love for one another, our love for God. But you can't truly love in this way unless you have the fruit of the Spirit. The Spirit enables us to love like this, and I think that's goes back even into the Old Testament. When you look at all those laws that were given on Mount Sinai, and all just how many of those ceremonial laws and ritual and all that. The 10 Commandments, all of it. And Jesus says, you can sum it all up in basically 2 things. Love God and love each other.
So, Jase, why would you tell people it's important to obey federal law when you're duck hunting?
Well, duck hunting is the most legislated thing you can do in life.
Yes, it is.
We have our rules, Al.
Yeah, we do.
And duck season is right around the corner.
Yeah.
In fact, teal season opens at a theater near you in the woods. So you got to have your ducks down.
That's part of the federal law. Got to have the duck stamp. And right now, it's easier than ever to get one. You go to duckstamp.com, choose the new digital duck stamp. They'll send it to you along with the proof of purchase right to your phone or your computer. No paper, no stress, no more keeping up with it all season. And here's the part we love. Almost every dollar goes straight into protecting wetlands and wildlife habitat. That means you're not just following the law, you're supporting something that lasts. A better hunting season, sure, but also a future your kids and grandkids can enjoy. So, Jase, Dad definitely has always been about conservation. That's why we have 1,600 acres of hunting property.
It goes with, actually, duck hunting. What you're doing is making a better environment for all the, not just ducks, that all the critters will come visit.
And we have a lot of critters. So whether you're a hunter or just someone who loves the outdoors, go to duckstamp.com/unashamed and grab your digital stamp today. That's duckstamp.com/unashamed. In the illustration, Jase did this a few podcasts back, was the rich young ruler. Remember, because he said, "Well, what makes you good? Why do you call me good?" And he said, "Well, I've kept the commandments, since I was a kid."
Yeah.
But he missed the two things he had to do: to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love your neighbors yourself. Remember, Jesus loved him.
Oh, wow, that is the point.
That was a huge point there.
Because he didn't want, and he told him to give to the poor, which is a love action.
Exactly.
And he made it about the commands. That's why, look, interesting enough, this world rabbit hole, when you read the last verse of John, you remember when he makes this subtle statement about, I suppose there's not enough books
in the world.
If everything was written
As to
about
what he
him.
did, right?
Yeah. But I just always thought, oh, that's cool. It's not about that. Look, what have we done in our world? And I mean, this world where the evil one, there's more books about what the Lord did and commentary. If we stacked them up, we could make a pretty good section of the world just in the books. And I thought,
They come out every day.
We missed it. It was a demonstration.
Yeah.
He gave us a demonstration of the Word became flesh. He became a human.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people are missing. They're like, oh, we need some more books. Let me throw this out there. No, it's a person.
So do you think that Paul makes the exact same argument that John makes in Romans 5, 6, 7, and 8? If you go back and think about those 4 chapters, he's making the exact same point you're talking about here about the two worlds. He starts it out with the 2 Adams.
Oh,
You get to the
absolutely.
You get to the death and
Yeah.
burial and resurrection comments in chapter 6, and then you get to 7 with the no confidence and the action. And then you get to 8. It's the spirit that
Spirit.
I would say, I think this is the whole point of all the books. It's this mindset of there's 2 worlds
right.
going on. And
But one world though is going to eat up the other world, and I think that's the picture of the kingdom,
make
and not
sure
yet
you're
now.
right in the right world. All right, I'll give you an example. What you're saying. Here's a random verse you probably never considered about world. In 1 Corinthians 7, he's talking about marriage. And the reason I thought about this is because Jesus is telling his disciples, trouble's coming. Don't let your hearts be troubled, but it's
Are
coming.
you going to quote the verse that Dad did
Oh,
at
that's where
Christian's
I'm going to
funeral?
start. That's what I'm going to start.
Wedding. Sorry.
yeah.
Christian did my dad.
that was a bad Freudian.
So
Do you know the verse, Christian, off the top of your head?
It's
Do you remember this
it's
moment?
The second half.
It's better for man not to marry.
No,
That's the part that I remember.
well, he
said that at the wedding.
He started there. It's better. That's earlier in the chapter. But then he read this, which is the second half of 1 Corinthians 7:28. But those who marry will face many troubles in this life. And I
Troubles.
want to spare you of this.
What do you think, Christian, when he's reading that at your wedding? You're about to marry his granddaughter, and the patriarch of the family comes up. What's going through your head?
I thought he just got the wrong scripture. I think I thought he was just confused on what he was reading.
Oh no.
But you know what? I mean, we can laugh at Phil. It's really good advice.
Oh, he's right
I
on.
mean, I've been married 35 years.
I mean, Paul said it, so
Trouble is coming, and it's gonna manifest itself in various forms. I mean, it can even be from good things.
it could be set on a clock.
Oh, it's a yeah. It reminds me of that song. People get ready. People get ready. There's a train coming.
Well, how do you think? Do you think that would not that the Bible has any contradictions, but to Genesis 1, do you think that applies more so to marriage, that it's not good for man to be alone, or more so community? Or could you make the argument for both?
No, I think the creation order is God wants us to get married. I'm not saying everybody, but it is the primary vehicle through which God.
Yeah.
It is the vehicle through which God creates.
And
new
Paul even
people.
said, "I'm the unicorn."
Yeah.
Like he said, I
Well,
wish
he's
more people
single.
were like me, but he was like,
Look,
I think Paul's instructions are in that case. I personally think that's the context they were in with the persecuted church. I don't think that had anything to do with the creation or like in general for all of us. I think that I actually think that we should encourage people to get married.
Like
if
somebody
God's called
for
you to
me,
it.
I was maybe because of my childhood, but I was a lone wolf, and I'm perfectly content with that.
"Oh yeah,
And so I had a couple of bad dates, and so for a year, not that anything bad happened. I just thought, no, I'm not going to find somebody that I want to marry.
yeah."
So I remember for 1 year, I basically debated what y'all are talking about. I thought, what if I just go it alone? I think I can do it.
And I think you probably could have.
Yeah, I think I could have. But then I met I think when
This
I met
is a man who famously said the best conversations are the one he has with himself. So yeah.
But I met my wife, and then all of a sudden I was like, forget that. I got a chance here. So I don't know. I fell in love. But there is a lot of trouble. And
With that being
and
said,
we've talked about many on this podcast.
well, we have. And nobody tell her about that clock, but I shared that story. It's like, you haven't even heard this story, but it's like, why are you sleeping on the couch, Jase? Because I sold a piece of junk, and I tried to give my wife $300 for said junk, and somehow that was a bad thing. But anyway.
well, said junk was a family heirloom.
Yeah,
so
it turned out to be a family heirloom. So if you would have told me that, I wouldn't have stolen it. So anyway, verse 29, he makes an illustration about the world. And look, he says, what I mean is this. So what do you mean? You're going to have trouble. Is that the time is short. From now on, those who have wives should live as if they had none. Those who mourn. Now this gets real confusing. You're like, wait, what? He's making a very good point about what we're talking about. Those who mourn as if they did not. Those who are happy as if they were not. Those who buy something as if it were not theirs to keep. Those, here's the phrase, verse 31, who use the things of the world as if not engrossed in them. For this world in its present form is passing away. He's making
you at
this
again?
1 Corinthians 7, 29 through 31.
So he's talking about marriage, and all of a sudden he was like, now hang on here. I know you live in this world, but he's talking to Christians, and he's like, you got a choice. You're not of this world anymore.
Yeah.
Quit getting so engrossed in it. He continues to say that when you're married, you're distracted because you're having to take care of worldly things and the affairs of men, and you're trying to please your husband. And he's like, he gets down to the end, and his whole point in verse 35, he says, I'm saying this for your own good, not to restrict you. He wasn't making some kind of rule about,
you can't get married.
and don't provide for your family and all this.
Right.
But he's saying that you may live in a right way in undivided devotion to the Lord.
That's a great point.
I mean, you're married to the Lord, and you're in a world that's new, and you have a king, and you're the servant of the king. That is your primary devotion.
Which is why when Lisa and I go and speak to people about marriage, this is what we get back to every time. If you're both not devoted to the Lord, because we're speaking in a Christian context. I mean, I could go write a book about counseling, blah, 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 but if you're both not devoted to the Lord, you will always have these worldly struggles that'll be a part of your marriage. I mean, but when that happens, when you both get on the same page, even with the struggles like Jase is talking about, you always come out on the right side. You always wind up in the right place. It
Well,
never
I only
fails.
brought this verse up because my point was going to be for bringing it up. Most people, when they see the world's passing away, they make it all not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we just need to wait. We have to do all this stuff. But no, he thrusts that right in the middle of this. This is now. You have the Holy Spirit of God now. Don't be distracted by the world. Go through the day-to-day, but keep it all in the right perspective. That's why he made that little deal about not being engrossed in them.
Yeah.
You can't get engrossed in the world because you're not of the world. And at the
What
height,
verse was the engrossed?
that's
where's
1
that at?
Corinthians
31.
7:31.
Or 35.
But I'll read you another one just to make the same point, and it's one we read all the time, Romans 12:1 and 2, which I'd never noticed this before until I did the world study. So he's like, in view of God's mercy, offer your bodies living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is a spiritual act of worship. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of the world. Same concept. You're now in a world within a world because you're in Jesus.
Right.
But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll know what God's will is. We're back to this God's will. We know what God's will is. It's all based in love, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. But I like that one because it's a renewal. It's same thing in 2 Corinthians 5 when he says we no longer view people from a worldly point of view.
Yeah.
Though we once regarded Christ that way. He used that word world.
Yeah.
But then the profound smoking gun is that God uses us because he's reconciling the world to himself. And we are therefore ambassadors.
So just last week, I noticed that one of my buddies, we were in the same exact location, and he could not get coverage on his cell phone. And I look at mine, I got 5 bars, full coverage. And that's because of my wireless company, Pure Talk. It's a wireless company worth bragging about. I can also brag on the fact that Pure Talk forgave $10 million in veteran debt. That's amazing. They're really committed to helping our veterans, and that means a lot to us. And also, my wireless company, Pure Talk, raised almost $500,000 to prevent veteran suicide. When your wireless company is Pure Talk, there really is a whole lot to brag about. You can even brag about the coverage you get, as I just did with Pure Talk. It's a 5G network, it's insanely fast, dependable, and secure. Here's the difference, though. It's half the cost, which is another thing that you can brag about. Unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month, saving the average family over $1,000 a year. I'm a Pure Talk customer. I can tell you the coverage is second to none. The time is now to switch to my wireless company, Pure Talk. It's super easy. You can switch over in as little as 10 minutes. And I love the fact, again, that these guys are committed to helping our veterans. So if you want to be able to brag about your wireless company, go to puretalk.com/unashamed. And you will save an additional 50% off your first month. Again, puretalk.com/unashamed to make the switch today. Pure Talk, wireless worth bragging about. That's the key, because if you read the passage, that's what I was asking about your NIV version of 1 Corinthians 7. This is not a form of Gnosticism, which means that the world is inherently evil. And really because you also see God says he's reconciling the world to himself. And then you have the Romans 8 passage that the creation itself waits in eager expectation for the sons of God to be revealed. It's to be liberated from its bondage to decay.
And John 1, he made all things. That's why I read that last podcast. He made all things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but even in that Corinthian passage, 1 Corinthians, in verse 31, it says, and those who deal with the world as though they had no dealings with it, for the present form of this world is passing away. So it's not that the world is passing away, it's the present form of the world. So then if you go to 1 Corinthians 15, you actually start to see a little bit of that about our own bodies. It's not that he's going to get away with the physical body. It's not like, oh, the physical body's bad, the world's going to hell in a handbasket, it's all bad, don't worry about it, just disregard all that. He's just saying that the present form is not going to be the final form. And the final form is what we always talk about in this podcast. That is the the not yet part that we're kind of getting little morsels of it. We're seeing the world inside the world expand, and it's having major impact and converting the other world into our world, into Christ's world. And then the consummation of the kingdom is going to be the entire globe is going to be good. Will be his temple.
Because the thing that changed was he came to the world. He came here.
Well, exactly. and
that's the
actually,
big
it
change.
doesn't. It's so weird that Zach brought this up because I actually looked up that Greek word there, which present doesn't seem to be in the Greek, but I guess it's implied. But that word form is only used twice in the New Testament. This fashion.
In its present form.
Well, yeah. You know, when the other time it's used, which kind of blew my mind, is in Philippians 2, when about Jesus, it says, and
human form?
2:8.
Being the form of God.
2:8, and being found in appearance as a man. So, which was a temporary.
Yeah.
Philippians 2.
Philippians 2:8 is, and 1 Corinthians 7:31 are the two.
It's not temporary.
Fashion. Well, it was a temporary. That's why he was leaving. Now it's
But
the
he's
same.
still in a body.
That's right. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
That's why it was when you said that, I thought this is a little deeper than you realize, because I actually went to it because I thought, what's he mean by that? But it's like this world in its current form is going to change.
Yeah.
Just like Jesus went from perishable to imperishable.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's getting at.
Yeah.
But it says it's already happening.
Yeah.
That's why I read in the first John.
Well, it is, because people are dying and being resurrected and the Holy Spirit living.
Exactly. But it makes it really about now so much.
Much more.
So it's like
And it also adds to the urgency concept of people finding this out so that they can then cross over from the other world into this world.
Oh, I found something. I know we only got a couple minutes, so I'm going to throw this in because this was random. Boy, I was in the airplane, and I read this, and I went, yes!
7 miles
I looked
high.
around, everybody's looking at me. I held my Bible and said, this is good.
You don't need a TV screen if you got Jason around.
So I was doing this thing about the light of the world, and all that, going down all the. Well, one of the worlds that popped up was in Philippians 2, where it says, and look, this is crazy because the NIV, once again,
Missed it.
well, I didn't notice it because it says universe, but it's the same word for world. Philippians 2.
Shine like star.
Oh, wow. This is so good that it'll make you run through a brick wall. So
It'll make you yell on an airplane.
14's like, do everything without complaining or arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a crooked and depraved generation, which is this world we're living in.
Yep.
In which here's the phrase, shine like stars in the universe. So you look at the Greek here, well, that stars, the word for light, it's luminary. It's only used twice in the entire Bible. This is one of them. And the word for universe there is the same word for world.
Yeah.
So look, you're illuminating, is that a word?
Illuminating. Yeah.
Well, it comes from luminous.
Yeah. You
And
would be a luminary, yeah.
So if you let's get the worldly definition for luminary. Listen to this. A person who inspires to influence others, a natural light giving body, especially the sun or moon. Well, he's talking about us.
Yeah.
We become this to the world.
Right.
It's used here, and it's used in Revelation 21:11. You remember he saw a new heaven, a new earth? The church is coming down out of it. Well, when you get to 21:11, it shone with the glory of God and its brilliance. was like that. And remember, we did all the thing about the jewels, and
Yeah.
you picked the same
gotta have that
jewels
light.
that if you have the laser light, that
Yeah.
it becomes rainbows.
Yeah.
How did he get all those right? And it's talking about people who have surrendered to Jesus.
Yeah.
You become the luminaries of the world.
It's the Zion again, Christian, the
Now,
holy city.
yeah, now, and not yet. I mean, but when that not yet happens, you don't need that's why it says you don't need the sun or moon.
Yeah.
You know, there's no temple. The
Right.
Lord is the temple.
He
It's
is-
shown.
and he is the light.
I mean, what a way. So when
Well,
he
when
says,
you look at
I'm
it's funny you say that because you look at this text here and it says the city lies 4 square mile, the city lies 4 square. Its length the same as the width. This is in Revelation 21:16, and he measured the city with his rod. So the idea of the city here is that if you measure it, it's a square. This is that cube that Bill Smith used to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, you know what else is where the length is the same as the width? Whenever you go back to the temple, and then you go back before that, and you go back to the tabernacle when they built if you go back and read those instructions in Exodus 25, when Moses was given, and I think it was like 10 by 10.
Yeah.
The box was 10 by 10, and then it was expanded in the temple. And I may get this wrong, but I think it was 30 by 30. Well, now you're seeing it even bigger, and so this is the temple. I mean, this is what we're talking about here, and that's why we see the ever expanding temple. God's temple is ever expanding, which is what Paul was saying. That's Paul's message, that we belong to this temple. We're living stones connected to the cornerstone, and we are growing into a temple. So that the idea is whatever the way that God dwells with man now, it's an ever expanding dwelling with man. Yeah. And I mean that is the picture that you're getting to at the very, very end of the Bible, almost the very last chapter of the Bible.
Exactly. I know we're out of time, but I read all that about the world because he said the world's going to hate you.
Yeah.
Why? Because when he got to the last 2 verses of chapter 15, he says, when the counselor comes, which is going to be in you, whom I will send to you from the Father, the Spirit of truth, which he's already spent the rest of the time talking about love,
Yep.
who goes out from the Father. This is from the Father. He will testify about me. Spirit is going to testify. That's how you're going to shine like a star and be a star in this world.
Yep.
And you also must testify, for you have been with me from the beginning. This became a mission with a warning.
Yep.
Oh, they're going to hate you. They're going to persecute you. You have trouble coming, but you're going to be like a star in the world.
Started in the first century and it's still going today. So we'll pick it up here next time. Christian, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me. This was great.
Thanks for listening to the Unashamed podcast. Help us out by leaving a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And don't miss an episode by subscribing on YouTube. And be sure to click the little bell and choose all notifications to watch every episode.